Hello everyone, I am Jaranjeevi and welcome to the 7th episode of Rush series. In this episode, we are going to discuss about conditionals, what are conditionals and how we can use them in Rust, and how we can assign a value to a variable using these conditions. We call it as conditional assignment of values to a variable. So let's dive in. For this purpose, let's start by creating a new project with cargo space new command. So we give the name of our project and we are calling it as conditionals, and I'm clicking enter. It created the project, you can see here. So now let's change the directory to that project, cd space name of that project or folder. So now I'm inside this conditionals project. Okay, now let's go to our main.rs file. So here, what I want to do in this particular program to demonstrate conditionals is that let's take a variable, let mute. Remember how we take variables, how we declare variables and use them. If you don't know, check out that episode of Rush series where we discussed about variables and constants. So let mute. I don't think we're going to change the value of this variable, so let's take it without mute keyword. So the name of this variable is going to be time. So this is going to take the current hour of the time in 24-hour format. So if it's up to 12 p.m. it will take 10, 11, 12. If it is after 12, it's going to take 13, 14, 15, like that in 24-hour format. So it's going to take some value. Let's say I'm going to give it 11 a.m. So this is going to be this thing. So let's say if you want to greet someone based on this time, based on this hour. So if it is before 12 p.m., you will wish someone when you see good morning. If it is after 12 p.m., you will wish good afternoon, because after 12 we consider it as afternoon. So how we do that? So how we do that is using these conditionals. So there is this keyword called if. So as you might know, if something, we'll do something. So that's how we use conditionals. So if time, what, if time is less than 12, then we will wish good morning. So what we do is, if time is less than 12, this is the symbol which we use for mentioning less than. So if time is less than 12, so we, after this is what we call as conditions. So if is a keyword, what we have given is a condition. If that condition is true, do something. If that condition is false, do something else. That's what we are going to specify here. So if this condition is true, you have to do is, we will specify that inside these curly braces. So whatever inside these curly braces will only be executed if this particular condition, time is less than 12, is correct. So if it is less than 12, what we want to do is, we want to print good morning. So this is what we want to do. So let's try this, let's run this. So I'm inside this conditions folder and I'm trying to run cargo space run, which will run our program. I'm clicking enter. So it compiled, it ran, and it's showing good morning, because time here in this variable is 11 and it is obviously less than 12. So it will execute whatever inside these curly braces and print good morning. So it's printing good morning, fine. So this is just a basic condition. So what if we want to do something else if it is not less than 12? So how we can do that is using else keyword. So we can type else and again curly braces and mention whatever you want to do inside these curly braces if the condition is false. So we want to print good afternoon if it is greater than 12. So what's happening here is, if this particular condition, time is less than 12, is true, it will execute whatever inside these curly braces, and if it is false, it will execute whatever inside these curly braces. If it is false, it won't execute inside whatever is inside these curly braces if it is false. If it is true, it won't execute whatever is inside these curly braces. So that's how it's going to work. If this condition is true, execute this. If this condition is false, execute this. So let's try running this again. Cargo run, enter. It's showing good morning because we haven't changed the time. So let's change this time to 14, which is obviously greater than 12. Try running it again. So now it's showing good afternoon because 14 is not less than 12, it is greater than 12. So this condition will be false. So since it is false, it is going to execute whatever is inside else curly braces. So that's how it's going to work. This is a simple condition. If it is true, we are doing this. If it is false, we are doing this. So what if there is a little bit complex conditions? So let's say if it is less than 5 p.m, we are going to, until it's less than 5 p.m, we are going to wish good afternoon. If it crossed 5 p.m, then we are going to wish good evening. So how we can do that is, if it is less than 12, good morning, perfectly fine. If it is uh, greater than 12 and less than 5, we have to check that. If time is less than 5 in 24-hour format is 17. So if it is less than 17, we are going to wish good evening. If this is also false, then only we are going to go here and wish good evening here. Sorry, I have to change it. This is good afternoon, this is good evening. This is a condition. It will check first if this condition is true or not. If it's true, then it will print this. Then if it's true, it won't go anywhere here, it will directly go after this column. If it is false at any point of time, then only it will check for this condition. It will check for this condition. If this is true, then it will print this. If this is also false, then only it will come here and it will print good evening. So let's try running this using some other number, which is 18, which is greater than 17. So 18 is not less than 12, so this is false. It will check this condition now. It is also not less than 17, so this will also be false. Then it will go here, it will print whatever it is here, because there is no condition here to check. It will execute automatically. So let's try running this. Cargo run. It's saying good evening. So like this, you can chain how many conditions you want. Let's add one more condition, which is if time is less than, let's say 8 p.m in the night. So it's less than 8 is 20. So if it is this, then it's good evening. If it is not this, println good night. Let's say if it crossed 8 p.m, we are going to say good night. Let's change this number to 21, which is 9 p.m. It's not less than 12, so this is false, it won't go inside. It will check this now. This is also not less than 17. 21 is not less than 17, so it is also false, so it won't go inside. Now it will check here. It is not less than 20, so it won't go even here. So since it's failing every condition of this, it will ultimately go into else part, so it will print good night. Let's try running this. It's showing good night. So this is how we will give conditions in Rust. This is almost similar in every programming language. So now one more thing which I wanted to show in this video is conditional assignment of a value to a variable. So for this example, let's take a number, a variable which is going to take any number. For example, let's take 4 for now. So what I want to do is, I will want to take another variable, let is negative. This variable is going to take true if this num is negative. If it is, this num variable is negative, this is I want this variable to have true. If this num variable is not negative, I want this variable to have false. So how I can do that? I am having condition, like if something happens, then only it should have some value. If this something else happens, it should have some other value. I am having a condition to have a value in this variable. So that's why I called it as conditional assignment of a value to a variable. So how I can do that? I can do that using if I'm writing condition now. What condition should it satisfy to have a variable, a particular value in this variable? So it should satisfy if num is less than 0, that means the number, whatever number that is inside num is less than 0, it means it's negative. So if the num satisfies this condition, I want this to have true, right? Is negative, it wants if that number is negative or not. If it's negative, it should have true. That's why I'm saying if this num is less than 0, that means if it's negative, I want this variable is negative to have true. If the num is not less than 0, that's where else comes. So if it's not less than 0, I want this to have false. Now let's try printing this. Println, I'm using a placeholder to print a variable is negative. So if we save this and run this, let's see what it's going to do. Since the number have 4, what will this condition will return? 4 is not less than 0, so it's going to give false. So it's going to give false, so it's going to go inside else, not this one. So inside else it is false, so this is negative will going to have false, so it will print false. So let's try running this. Cargo space run. I forgot a semicolon. Let's try running this again. So it printed false because number is not less than 0, so it directly goes to else, which will give false, and it will be stored inside this is negative. And let's try to change this num variable. Let's give it some negative value, which is -10. Since it is less than 0, it will go into this curly braces and it will give true to this variable is negative, and it's going to print this. So if we try to run this, it should print true. As expected, it tried to print true. That's it for this video. Let's meet in the next episode, which is episode 8, to discuss about functions in Rust. So until then, please like and share this video if you find it useful, and subscribe to this channel for the further episodes of Rust series. Thank you and signing off.